terms of just getting familiar with the offense, what do you think your aptitude level is in terms of making sure that you have everything down pat?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty similar offense from what I was doing in New Orleans. Obviously, Joe came from there, and I was with Joe in New Orleans, and it's pretty similar. So I think it was pretty quick study. So
How about the chemistry between you and Sam right now? It seems like it's starting to develop a little bit. What have you seen?
yeah, I think it's I think being at Wofford definitely helps with that chemistry. Spending a lot of time after hours, just kind of hanging out, getting to know each other. But then also just spending time on the field, working on certain routes, things that we want, talking after, getting good routes on air is the big one for us right now, is just talking through, okay, where do you want the ball? Where are you thinking you're going to put it against this defense, stuff like that. And it's good that we've had a lot of time in practice to be able to hash things out like that. So I'm pretty excited for what's going to happen.
A goal line short yardage day, this is like your Christmas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that we can definitely take advantage of this season. We got a lot of different personnel that we're going to take shots, and we're also going to be able to run the ball. It'll help.
As far as your catch radius, I mean, it feels like anytime something's thrown your way, I mean, what have you done to try and improve basically the ball's coming your way, more results than catches?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I learned when I came into the league was just attacking straight at the ball. It's always going to help you to break away from defenders and make them play through your body. I think that's the key at the next level, is being able to attack the ball rather than just kind of let it get into your body. Just using the length at all times and knowing how to use your body, how to block people away from the catch, so that you don't really have to worry about those guys getting the hands in to break away balls.
How much of last year's, I know you weren't here, but how much of last year's film of this offense did you study? And if you did, why do you feel like the tight end just never became a big factor in it?
To be honest, I don't really know how to answer that question. I watched, some film, but, we're always watching defensive film during the season. So I don't really, we'll pick a couple plays here and there from stuff we see, but I mean, that's something that they dealt with last year, and hopefully we turned it around this year.
So why are you the guy to change that?
I think with the comfortability that I've had with the offense, like I said, I spent 3 years in New Orleans. I know what the tight ends can do, especially when you have a guy who can stretch the field. That's kind of what I bring to this offense and what I like to use to my advantage. But then also just going out and making, any play that I can, just telling Sam, put the ball up there somewhere and I'll go get it. And that's kind of, that other factor that you don't really throw into any equation sometimes. So just that's my play style. That's what I like to do, and that's what I like to bring to the offense.
Dan, knowing the role that the tight end has in this offense, is that kind of part of what made you want to come to Carolina? Was that at all like a factor?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when I talked to my agent when we were looking at signing here, I told him, hey, I know Joe. I'm very comfortable with him. I know what he's going to try and do. I know how he can work the tight ends in the offense, and I thought it was going to be a really, really good situation. But then also trusting myself that I can become, the Ben Watson kind of guy back in New Orleans, Jared Cook, Jimmy Graham, those guys that played really well in that offense. That's kind of the next step for me, and that's something that I want to push myself to be every single day.
Yeah, and Matt just told us that you kind of told him that Larry Fitzgerald, someone who gave you some tips, and that. What kind of stuff did you learn?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at kind of Larry started out as like that outside speed guy, and then as he progressed throughout his years in the league, he kind of molded into that move kind of guy. Like, he was doing some dirty grunt work when you're running your duos and gap schemes and stuff, and coming in and blocking, but then also playing from the slot, being able to create some mismatches on some smaller DBs. And Larry was just a really good inspiration for me of how best to, carry through whenever you're down, and really just focus on playing the game and play it at the mental level that you want. I had a lot of talks with him last year and learned an absolute ton from him on just how to stay leveled, how to compete, and how to stay in the game no matter what's going on. That was kind of the biggest thing I took away with him.
How would you rate yourself as a blocker?
Blocker needs improvement, and that's all there is to it. I think each and every day I come in here and I need to get better, and that's something that I try to get better at no matter what. And I don't think whether I play, one more year in the league or whether I play 10, it's something I'm gonna have to get better at every day.
How much of that is just kind of a motivation to make sure that, when you're on the field, they don't think it's a pass and vice versa?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I want to be the guy that can do it all, and that's where I see myself at. I think I would sell myself short if I I don't think that I'm not going to tell myself I don't have the ability to block somebody, and it's really comes down to grit, whether you have the attitude to do it. Technique is always going to be one of those things, but it's a mentality thing, and that's the mentality that I have, and I approach the run blocking game. But like I said, there's always stuff you can learn. There's always things you can pick up from other players, and it's going to be a journey. No matter how long I play in the league, it's always going to be something that I'm going to work at.
We all saw how explosive New Orleans has been in that offense. A lot of the pieces they have. Look at the pieces you have here compared to what we're down there. How comparable?
Yeah, I mean you can compare apples and oranges. You can compare two teams to another, but I think it really just matters about us. I'm not really worried about teams that they did in the past or New Orleans, and Joe isn't worried about what they did in New Orleans either. He's right here and now, and I think we just want to do the best that we can with the personnel that we have and put different players in the situations that they need to be in order to be successful, whether that be me, whether that be anybody else in this offense. So I think it really comes down to what we're doing, and I'm excited for it. I know Joe's putting in his own wrinkles, what he wants to do and how he sees the offense going. And having Sam just gunslinging, that's the best part about the offense.
Dan, I believe a couple of days ago, Darnold yells in the camera, "Darnold to Arnold." Are you as big of a fan of that kind of opinion as he is?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll probably hear it a lot, and it's kind of a joke too. But at the same time, it's kind of funny how things work out like that, and I'm sure it'll get confusing for the announcers and people watching too. Probably questioning what the heck is going on the field, but it'll be a real thing.
Does it feel like you're developing kind of an early chemistry, the two of you, and do you want that and look forward to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, we're spending a lot of time both on and off the field getting to know each other. He's a really great guy, easy to get along with, and he's just a kind of laid-back Cali boy, but he just loves to throw the ball, and that's all you can ask from a quarterback. But yeah, no, getting to know him really, really well, and I think being in Wofford helps that. And we just have so much time to just be together, spend time, and really work on everything on and off the field.
Last one, David. There you go.
I was going to ask if you could say Sam Darnold to Dan Arnold 3 times real fast.
I probably could not. I would probably gum it up completely.